Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What Can I Say? The show that I talk about things you need to hear, things you don't need to hear, or things I simply have an opinion on. Now, I actually did a video on this topic about a year back, but the sound quality was really bad, and I told myself, you know what? This is a message that needs to be preached over and over again. And that is Henry David Thoreau gave us arguably one of the greatest psychology quotes of all time. The mass of men live lives of quiet desperation. Now, I've heard this quote in multiple documentaries, even people simply just discussing it, saying, how is it still relevant in today's society? That's because Henry David Thoreau died in 1862. So 158 years later, through all the economical advancements, through all the industrial advancements, through people basically evolving, this quote still holds up. Now, obviously, I cannot go back in time and ask Henry, hey, Henry, what did you observe about your society to basically make you come up with this observation? I can only observe my society, my surroundings, to get a better understanding of why is it that the mass of men live lives of quiet desperation. And I kind of narrowed it down to this one simple fact, that human beings, as a whole, will trade in stability for convenience every single time. Let me give you guys an example. As a species, if we are hungry, we much rather get in the car, go to a drive-thru, pass some money, get a bag of essentially crap, that's what it is, eat it knowing A, it's bad for us, B, we're going to be hungry later, rather than staying at home and cooking with the family. But no, we much rather go through a drive-thru because why? It's convenient. Stability over convenience. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of the older generation, if they heard me say this, they'll be like, yeah, that's right. Back in my day, it was a lot harder growing up. Yes, you could say the 70s were a lot harder, but you could also say that the 60s were a lot harder, that the 50s were a lot harder. Heck, even the 1800s were a lot harder. The point is that we always make it easier for the next generation, and in doing that, we tend to cut corners. So now that you understand that human beings will trade in stability for convenience, now let's look at the three main focus points of anybody's life. Now, number one is relationship, more specifically, spouse relationships. Let me ask you guys a question. If you're currently looking for a spouse, or if you already got one, what was the first thing that you were looking for in them? A lot of people want to say, well, I was looking for someone that I could communicate with, someone that gets me, someone that can make me laugh. Let's be real. The first thing you look for in that relationship was sex. Could I see myself being intimate with this person? And if you did, then great. Everything else will fall in line. Let's see what happens after that. But the whole point is that the main focus point of a relationship in the beginning is sex. What happens if you get sex too early in a relationship? You feel obligated to stay with this person. You feel commitment. Before you know it, kids come along. Before you know you get married, you have a house. You built the relationship on rocky ground. You're coming home from work and you're living a life of quiet desperation. So what's the answer to this? Is take your time. Is when you get into a relationship, don't jump in the bed right away. Get to know this person. Get to understand who this person is. Develop a mental relationship with them first before you develop that physical relationship. And then if you realize, okay, this isn't going to work out, you can leave, no strings attached. But if you jump in the bed right away, all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more complicated than that. So my advice for that is take the time to develop a relationship. Don't trade in stability for convenience. Now, the number two main focus point of anybody's life is your job. One of my favorite movies of all time was a movie called Good Will Hunting. And in the movie, Robin Williams talking to Will, and Will got a job offer from the NSA, and Robin Williams tells him, well, you can't work construction your entire life. And Will kind of flips the lid and he says, well, why not? I'm putting a roof over someone's head. I'm laying a foundation for somebody's house. There's honor in that. There's honor in working construction. And Robin Williams leans back and says, yeah, that's why you picked the job, because of the honor in it. What Will did is exactly what a lot of people do if you ask them about their job. Hey, how do you like your job? Well, you know, it gets good money. The hours are great. The benefits are perfect. It's the hours because it helps me with the kids. They focus on all these other things rather than the simple fact of, does it make you happy? And you could try to fool everybody else, but we realize that if it does not make you happy, you can hit all the other marks that you want. You are going to be living a life of quiet desperation. You are going to be going to a job, to something that doesn't inspire you, that's something that doesn't motivate you. It's not even leading to anything. You are literally stuck. And you feel scared that you're going to spend 20 years of your life there. So what's the answer to that? Find out what you like. That may be the hardest part to that, is find out who you are. Find out what you like. Find out what you want to focus your life on. And then once you kind of figure out, then look at somebody that already has that job, that is already doing that occupation, and find a way to model them. Well, how did they get there? Well, maybe they worked 3 different jobs to get there, but then they went through this avenue, and this avenue led to this avenue, and then they kind of squeezed their way in, and they got to wherever it is that they want to go. But you're going to have to put in work. And I think that's the thing that kind of keeps people there, is that they much rather be depressed than putting in the work to actually get there. Now, the number 3 thing is the number 1 cause of divorce, which is money. A lot of people think that they need millions and millions of dollars to live this comfortable life. That is not true. There is an exact correlation figure that equals to happiness. And it's not millions of dollars. It's $75,000. So if you could find a way to earn $75,000, all of a sudden money won't be as much of a big a deal anymore. You get to pay your rent. You get to have some time for entertainment, for all your necessities in life. Now, a lot of people may be saying you might be earning about $30,000. You're like, how do I get to $75,000? That's so much. We live in a consumer culture to where, let me ask you guys a question. If you were to find $5 on the floor, what's the first thing you would probably do with it? The right answer would be save it, invest it. What you guys are probably doing is, hey, $5, I can go get a Starbucks drink. And you find the quickest way to spend it. Now, if you understand that you do that with $5, what happens when you get your paycheck? Now, a lot of people want to say, well, yeah, I got to pay rent. I got to pay water. I got to pay all this stuff. Yes, that's true. But let's be real. As soon as you get your paycheck, you probably go get a nice dinner, like a really, really nice dinner. Probably go buy a couple movies. You probably, if people are making a little bit more, okay, great, I get to get that TV now. The whole point is we always spend more money on things that we don't need. So if you can discipline yourself to where you can save and then find a way to invest it, whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, this is a really smart one. If your credit is really, really good, which I hope work towards this, you can buy a house, rent it out. Before you know it, maybe the mortgage on it is $600. You rent it out for $1,000, $400 extra. Find little avenues like that to where you can earn more money, to where $75,000, it's not as big as $1 million. It's more doable. So people that live lives of quiet desperation, I feel, neglect these 3 things. And as a whole, they always trade in stability for convenience. So like I said, my answer for this, find a partner that you absolutely love. Build a foundation with them. Find a job that you love, that stimulates you, that motivates you, that you feel excited, that you're contributing and not just sitting in a rut for 20 years. And don't blow all your money. Find a way to save it. Find a way to invest it. And I guarantee you, if you meet all 3 of these things, you will not live a life of quiet desperation. So that's my message for you guys today. If you guys got any questions, put in the comments, hit me up on Twitter at ChristianG7752. Thank you guys for listening.